I love Batman, I love Matt Reeves, and I love Robert Pattinson. Do you think I enjoyed this movie? It's been about 24 hours since I've seen The Batman. I went to the cinema with some friends and I very much enjoyed it. So, here are my spoiler-free thoughts. Now, I've been following this movie ever since we first found out there was going to be a new, fresh Batman movie from Matt Reeves. And then the movie started building up, hype started building. I did not watch any trailers, despite the fact that I was excited for this movie before it was even officially unveiled. And, oh my god, not watching any trailers and going in pretty much blind on this movie led to an amazing cinematic experience for me. After I came out of this movie and really enjoyed it, I went back and watched the trailers, and I am so glad I didn't. For example, this hallway scene from one of the trailers, you got Batman fighting guys while gunshots are going off, and only when the guns are being fired can you see what's going on. And yeah, in the trailer it looks cool, but in the movie it's done so much better, and the score is intertwined with the scene and you can see everything while also having your vision obscured by the night. It is pure Batman. He is moving in the dark and we're watching it unfold, and it is glorious. Watching this in the cinema, I was popping off. I was going crazy, but if I knew this was going to happen and if I saw it in the trailer, it would have slightly ruined that moment for me. So, in conclusion, don't watch trailers, you'll probably have more fun with films. But whether you have been following this movie's promotion or not, you need to see this film. It is a really good movie. We're less than 2 minutes in and I've already said that 3 times. I think the one thing you should definitely know going into this movie is that it's not your standard superhero affair. It is much more of a detective movie than the other Batman movies, and yeah, movies like The Dark Knight had some sleuthing in it, but this movie takes it to a whole new level. It's detective first, action movie second, unlike the other Batman movies, which definitely treat their investigating as more of a secondary genre. So please, for the love of God, don't go into this movie expecting some Zack Snyder, Michael Bay, punchy, bang bang, explosion-filled murder fest. Don't go in expecting that. It's a slow-burning noir detective story, and it is glorious. Seriously, it is everything I have pretty much ever wanted from a Batman movie. And you are gonna love it too, unless you're an idiot that's been poisoned by the MCU and want all of your superhero movies to be the same. One of my friends I went to watch this movie with was like this, and he called this film boring. So, to that friend, if you're watching this right now,
thank you.
And one more thing, comparing this movie to other superhero movies. This film proves that superhero movies can have amazing cinematography. This film is shot beautifully, the lighting is perfect, and everything about the visuals is just chef's kiss. And the colours. This movie has a hard-on for the colour red, and after watching it, so do I. A really interesting talking point about this movie is the way it handles the classic Batman characters. So, let's talk about that for a second. This version of Batman and Bruce Wayne is like no version of Batman and Bruce Wayne you have ever seen on screen before. This is a much younger Batman than we have ever seen in a Batman movie. This Batman is only in his 2nd year of being a vigilante, and it leads to really interesting situations and definitely links to the main theme of the movie. Yes, that's right, this is a coming-of-age Batman movie. Still not as good as Superbad though. Best coming-of-age movie of all time. And I think the biggest change from classical Batman, and the thing that definitely takes the most getting used to, is in the world of this movie, Batman is not called Batman. I think they only say the phrase Batman once, and they only say Bat a couple times. Batman himself and other characters all refer to Batman as Vengeance.
I'm Vengeance.
Yes, that's right, this is a Batman movie where Batman is called Vengeance instead of Batman. It takes some getting used to, but I honestly do not mind it. Plus, it also links to the coming-of-age theme of the movie. And finally, while we're talking about things that are different, because I didn't really know where to put this in this video, Batman's tech is so cool in this video. His tech will make sense. He actually has tech to do with being a nocturnal creature. He has little cameras that he records his crime busting sprees with and then writes everything down so he doesn't forget it. It's all very Batman, it's all very cool, and it's all very unique for a Batman movie. 10 out of 10. Speaking of Batman, Robert Pattinson, or should I say Robert Battinson, is great as this version of Bruce Wayne. He brings a whole new level of darkness and sadness to the character that we've never seen before. This version of Batman talks less than any other on-screen rendition we have ever seen, but Pattinson does so well at portraying Bruce's emotions with his facial expressions. The same friend I mentioned earlier also complained that there's this orphan child that's given too much attention throughout the movie, but I really disagree. There's this amazing scene where Bruce is just looking at this kid for a few seconds, and you can see it on his face. You can see the pain he's feeling at another child losing his parents, and it's just beautiful. Great acting from R. Pats, and again to that friend.
Thank you.
Obviously, another character we have to mention is the Riddler. A Batman movie is only good as its villain, and these movies have some of the most iconic movie villains of all time coming from. You've got the Joker, you've got Bane, you've got the other Joker. It's mainly the Joker, but they're all pretty good. And hot damn, they've done it again. The Riddler is one of the best. Wow, 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 wow. Paul Dano smashes it out of the park, playing essentially what is the Batman version of the Zodiac Killer. He's scary, he's mesmerizing, he's always one step ahead of our heroes, and surprised me. I thought this character would struggle due to the obvious comparisons to Heath Ledger's Joker, but wow, they did so well, and this is a top-tier Batman villain. Other mentions to standout characters go to this version of Jim Gordon. The Penguin is amazing and just steals the show every time he's on the screen, and Andy Serkis as Alfred Pennyworth. I did not expect the director of Venom 2 Let There Be Carnage to do as well as he does in this movie, but wow, he is a great younger interpretation of this character that really separates himself from the Michael Caine version from the Nolan movies. That is perfect casting, and he's done well to separate himself from what I think is the best Alfred we're ever going to see. Unfortunately, I have to have some complaints. What sort of reviewer would I be if I didn't have some sort of criticisms? I didn't like Catwoman. I never have. She is bland in this movie. As a plot device, she's functional, and she serves her role in the story very well, and I think it's interesting how she affects other characters. But I've just never liked the character, and in this movie I found her very single-faceted, and I'm sorry, I didn't enjoy her. And other than that, I only have one more complaint. Obviously, this movie has stakes. Quite high stakes, may I say. This is on par with the Nolan movies in terms of how much turmoil and danger it puts both Batman and Gotham City through. But there's one character, I won't say who for spoiler reasons, who gets into a very dangerous situation and is hospitalized and left in critical condition. But in the end of the movie, we never actually find out if they're okay or not. We check in at them on hospital, we see them in hospital one time, but after that, there's never a scene of them being okay, or stating if they died or they're critically injured. We never find out what actually happens to them. And especially with some of the events that take place after this, we want to know what happened to him in the hospital. It would be nice to know, and I feel it adds an unfortunate lack of closure to the movie. But this movie is still great. I want to watch it again, and I want to watch it right now. Top movie. Loved it. Let me think about it and watch it again, and then I'll start making comparisons if it's better than The Dark Knight or not. 9 out of 10. And hey, you better get down in the comments and tell me what your opinion on this movie was. If it's different than mine, you're wrong.